Hi, hello and welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video, welcome back to another unedited Soulstone Survivors video. I know for a fact that we still need a lot of silver, so let's head into the frozen wastelands, and if possible, we might want to turn it into a bit of a longer run. If we're gonna turn it into a longer run, I am gonna have to save my speech systems in my brain and the rest of my body. Save them some trouble. Save them some trouble by speaking a bit slower, really thinking about what I am going to say instead of just starting to blurt out my sentence right from the moment the thought pops up in my head. Really make sure that I take enough breaths, that I give my vocal cords some rests in between statements. Very important stuff. We are playing with this guy today. I immediately forgot his name, isn't he? Like the Sentinel? It's the bow and arrow guy at least. And we're playing with his third weapon, that starts with Obscure Arrow, and because of our talents, it also starts with Void Trap. A bit of a pink build. In terms of runes, we have the same runes we always use: Synergetic, Executioner, Weapon Mastery, or Weapon Expert, Dash Mastery, Multicast Mastery. Nothing too crazy to expect there. Well, nothing too crazy or unexpected there, rather. Just the old trusty build we have been going into runs with for the past 29 episodes. Maybe a little bit longer, probably a little bit longer. This is like 96, 97. We're getting dangerously close to that 100 episode mark, and it's gonna be a bit more anticlimactic than I actually set it out to be at first. Let's go for a little shadow build, because, well, we still have so much things to do. Projectile, missile, frontal, physical. I'm looking for something shadow. Shadow bolt is definitely a shadow ability. Expansive, a little area, never hurt nobody. Venomous. We're gonna go way over the 100 episode mark, and that is because I still want to actually, no, sure, let's go for split shot. I still want to actually go for all the new weapons, showcase all of that. Probably by the time I have actually completed that, new updates will already be on the way, because as you all know, and as I don't really have to repeat anymore, it's taken way longer than I thought to collect all these materials. They really have put in some kind of steep material goals. Area of effect. I shouldn't have taken that upgrade, because I think we're gonna replace Void Trap and we're actually gonna go for a nice missile build, a nice frontal missile build like we used to do a long time ago. I think we want to get back into that, and I think that the Void Trap doesn't really fit into that build type. Here we go, see you later. Use a little bit of the Chromatic Bolt, of which I still have not realized the overpowered potential that some of my friends talk about. That maybe this is the run, you know? This is the run where it all changes. Definitely gonna try to go for a lot of cast time reduction, a lot of... What was the other thing I was gonna say? A lot of cast time reduction and a lot of multicast chance, because that is what helps you out quite a lot whenever you are dealing with such a frontal missile build like the one I am dealing with right now. Some Bloodlust in there is also definitely gonna help us out. All in all, I think our build is already quite online, you know? It's already doing wonders, it's already doing its thing. It doesn't need anything else to really get its potential unlocked, to get on the rails. Any of these. Some powerful strikes is going to be handy as well, because these missiles often do quite a lot of raw damage, so investing in that is actually not a bad idea. Let's see how we fare against Lords. I feel like normally these types of builds fare a bit better against the smaller minions than against Lords, and because against Lords you are better off using builds like that stack up a whole bunch of negative effects, because that is often a bit more detrimental to their health bars. But for now, from what I'm seeing here, no crazy things are happening to their health bars, but it's definitely not like those health bars are not moving at all either, right? Egg Shooter, not the build, or not today. Not this build, or not today is what I meant to say. What about today? What about your day? What about my day, you know? I have had quite an okay day. Quite a busy work day, quite a long work day. I had my first client at 12 and I left my other workplace at 8 in the evening. So that makes for 8 hours of work. Just because, like, we had intervision, we had a little bit of a get-together at my other workplace afterwards. Only saw 3 clients today, so that's actually okay. That's a little bit less than what I normally expect myself to do. but for some days it's fine. I've come to terms with the fact that my agenda is just going to be a little bit less filled to the brim than some of my colleagues, because I need those break hours every single day as well. I need to catch my breath, have time to invest into hobbies and other stuff in my life and relationships and stuff. I can't see 8 clients every day. That's not gonna work for me. And I sincerely hope that my boss will also understand that. I mean, she has never said anything about 8. She is most of the time aiming for 7 meetings in a day, because that is kind of like the industry standard for most people. But if I want to keep doing this job in the long run, I think I'm gonna have to be very careful with how I actually go about doing it. I think I need to set up some clear boundaries for myself right from the get-go, and not change up my boundaries when it's already too late. You feel me? Like, before having the feeling that my boundaries need to be changed, I already want to be a bit lenient with them, a bit flexible, change them up a bit in terms of not necessarily following the industry standard just because I feel like I have to. No, listening to my own body, listening to my own needs, practicing self-care. That is very important, of course. It's exactly what I would advise my clients to do in my situation. So I better practice what I preach, you know? I better do what I advise my clients to do, because the most things I advise them, if not all of the things I advise them to do, are things that make your life a little bit more healthy and a little bit better, hopefully. Like, for example, not avoiding negative thoughts anymore or negative things, but just taking them head on by the horns and realizing that they are actually not as negative as you expected at all. For example, calling the place for the internship or sending out your mails for the internships instead of being anxious about rejection or anxious about social anxiety. Kind of confronting the negative things in life that you are avoiding. That's what so much of psychotherapy is all about. And it's also what so much of my approach to psychotherapy is about. Accept that life sucks sometimes and then move on. We're getting smacked around a little bit. Took the touch of ice there to hopefully get into the hypothermia action, but now come to think of it, we already have hypothermia, so bit of a useless upgrade there. But I don't know if we have thermal shock yet. I believe it appeared actually in one of our upgrade potential screens, but we skipped over it for another upgrade, so maybe that is something great to look out for, something efficient to look out for. Area effect of my missile spells, yes please, because I do have a bunch of missile spells. Our damage is not crazy, it's not insane, but it's also not bad. Like, we are able to hold our ground to kill some of the enemies on our path without worrying about it all too much. But we don't have like the run that I want to actually go into a very long overload mode run with, I think. We'll see what happens. I guess we'll see how much time we have left and stuff, because I also want to go to bed in time, because I am feeling quite tired from such a long work day. And even if I wouldn't be feeling quite tired, I want to head into bed in time, just because of healthy life habits. Oh yeah, I still have the final playoffs series co-cast, recast to watch by Sneaky and Meteos, so that is something I really look forward to as well, because I have been waiting for those videos to come out for a while already. I have no idea who's gonna win. I don't even know who plays. I think it's Cloud9 versus FlyQuest, right? Or not? No, I think we witnessed that already. I'm actually not really sure. I'm not sure who I will be seeing playing, but that's maybe something I want to do in bed before I go to sleep. And I know that's not great sleep hygiene. Normally you shouldn't do things in bed other than sleeping and some other stuff, but I don't really need to practice what I preach on that front, because I am a very easy sleeper. I almost never have any troubles with falling asleep and calling a cab and he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag at all. Normally it always just like goes easily. Well, got smacked around there a little bit. Normally it always goes easily without too much hassle. I just put on a podcast or any type of video and I fall asleep in an instant without too many struggles. Boy Trap, you are not coming back, I'm sorry. We have been taking we have been going more and more into the route of like upgrading the passive applications, like the poisonous, spontaneous combustion, taking more and more of those upgrades, because I feel like it does up our damage by quite a lot. Because, well, of course, our entire build is focused around applying those negative effects all the time, so making them more potent is of course going to be better. Maybe we don't even have to worry about the long run or the longer runs in this case, literally, because I think we will just die before we actually get the chance to head into a portal. We have been struggling throughout this run, like struggling a lot, and we also have this Lord with her laser beam, which can sometimes be a run ender, so I need to be very careful. In the meantime, we also have all of these towers that are very annoying. It's not easy for us right now. Well, at least we collected some silver, right? That's in the end what this is all about still. But I don't think we have collected that much silver either, so we should definitely try to survive a little bit longer if possible. I don't think we necessarily have a bad build, but I think that just these projectile type builds that I used to win with so often are not really meta anymore. They are not the most efficient technique available at all. Little lesson on what meta stands for there. But it could also mean like something over something else. Like, for example, meta communication is communication about communication, if that makes any sense. I think it does. Fish strikes might help us out a little bit, but I am afraid it's a little bit too late already. Should have definitely actually taken the defensive upgrade that got presented to me there, because otherwise we will not be able to do anything with our vicious strikes, because we will just die before we actually get to use them. Yeah, I feel like we deal some damage, we apply some negative effects, but it's just not enough or not quick enough. I don't really know where we went wrong. Because we do some damage, we deplete some of their health bars if we actually get the hits in, but maybe our build is just not volatile enough to actually move in between all these enemies and in the meantime also deal a bunch of damage. I'm not sure. Getting those healing crystals is definitely going to help me out, because it will make me a bit less scared to take risks just like that. Multicast for the projectile might help us out a ton, because almost all, if not all of our skills right now are projectiles. Well, Bloodlust isn't, I guess. I need to get rid of one of these lords. Preferably all of those lords, but one of them definitely needs to die right now, because otherwise we are going to be in very big trouble once the next ones are here, which is in like 2 seconds. The next ones are the last set of lords, though, so we might just be able to achieve a victory, and that's definitely the only thing I'm going for. I'm not trying to actually achieve the long runs, because that is just something that is not gonna work in this specific case. All we are focusing on right now is surviving. And the legendary multicast upgrade will definitely help me out there, because it allows me to kill the enemies faster, and killing the enemies faster makes it so that I can take less damage. There we go. Beautiful stuff. Still enjoying this game for some reason. It's the simplicity, you know, and it's the comfort. It's the comfort of getting into the game, knowing what to expect, and knowing that you are going to enjoy the process, even if you don't necessarily think about the outcome. Even if we don't win this run, I will still have had a lot of fun just sitting here, playing the game, watching the numbers on my screen, and especially also talking to you guys. I think that's why it's also a game that I keep on enjoying, is because I associate it with YouTube growth and with my YouTube channel in general. And it's an easy game to record, you know. It doesn't take too much effort for me. It takes some brain power, of course, to think about some commentary to spew out into the ether so you guys can pick it up through the audio waves produced by your headphones or other musical installations. But other than that, my brain is kind of shut down for a second right now. I am not thinking too much about all the hardships in life, all the really, really important things in life, even though doing this is very important to me, because it is my dream to be a YouTuber. A dream that is coming to fruition. Almost at 250 subscribers. We are like really, really close at the time of this recording, and that is such a beautiful milestone. Not that it motivates me immediately all that much, because I will now just move on to the next milestone, and that is an additional indicator of how valuable this process is to me, because I am using what I learned in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear in my own approach towards this YouTube journey. I don't care about the outcome. I care about the process, and even more additionally, and more in terms of the core approach to how I want to do this YouTube channel, it is part of my identity, you know? I am a YouTuber, I am a content creator, I am someone that hopefully inspires other people, or someone that is the background content for other people, or that makes someone else fall asleep. I am very worthy in that sense to them, because I know how how valuable, that's the word I was actually looking for, kind of a mistranslation by me there, how valuable people like Northernlion have been for me throughout my life. People like Vintage Beef also, for example, how much they have shaped my childhood, shaped me as a person, shaped my childhood and my adulthood. When I look back, or when I have to describe myself and my life now, YouTube, not only being a YouTuber, but also the countless hours I have spent on YouTube throughout my life are it's such an important part, a part that I can't just ignore, because it is really the core factor in my personality and in who I am. And I am so glad that I can share some of that with you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.